condos, because not only did we already have all of this junk going on that impacted condo developments, but in 2012 they sunsetted FHA approval on all of them across the land. Yay, that was fun. So condos really died for a while, but they, along with certain market areas around here, actually popped 25% last year. Because we've only had 2 high-rise developments finish in the last few years, the Insignia and Luma. And the next one, the Nexus, is just now having ground broken, and it will take 3 years to build. So they've had long lines of people waiting to get in to try and buy, but it's going to be many, many years before that happens. Now here's a word of caution: if you have friends who are considering condos, do have them at least be aware that of the 10,000 units of apartments coming online, there is a slight anticipation that some of those may convert to condos in a few years. And then that will impact the condo market yet again. But right now, they've been doing very, very well and will for the next couple of years. Okay. The other good thing about where we still have all of this growth going in is, even though we were down at 3.25, we're still right now at this top end looking at what, 3.5 to 4.25 for most of the interest rates right now. So even though there's been all this growth, affordability is still good because the interest rates have stayed low, right? And you're probably then wondering what's going to happen over the next few years, right? Is there going to be a bubble? Currently, because of the amount of growth in our area, not only do we have Amazon, who's done quite a bit. Was it 341 or 371 that we had the other day on the show?
341.
So they're now up to 341,000 employees, or 3 times the size of Microsoft. I don't know if you knew that yet. Yeah, that's pretty intense. But because of that growth that they have, that hyper growth that's been happening here and pushing a lot of what's happening, we also have other tech companies coming here. So like Facebook and Google, and of course Microsoft still has a very strong presence. Expedia's here. We have a lot of large corporations here. So even outside of that, Starbucks, Costco, there's all kinds of great companies that are here. And biotech has been growing. We're now on par with Boston. We couldn't say that 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We were a very small micro market. Now, because of Paul Allen, that has become a very big part of our economy and culture here as well. So having diversified, and we're also in an upcycle with Boeing. So not only do we have the core Bellevue and downtown Seattle markets that are doing really, really well, but out in the outlying suburban areas, we have the same thing. Boeing's still doing well. They did have a small layoff up in Everett recently, but they're still, in general, doing very well. The Renton facility is killing it right now because they've got back orders for more than a decade right now that they can't even get out the door in time. So we've got a lot of good things that are happening. But with all of that, the expectation is, at least for the next few years, for us to continue up. The big question is whether or not it's going to be somewhere between 2020 and 2022 of when we might soften. What will impact us is, at least in housing, is what happens with interest rates. Because as interest rates rise,